Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you about this, and I'm showing you my Escar Jaffe because it is my lightest mountain bike. And I want to ask you, does bike weight matter? Is it important when you're climbing or descending trails? How important is the overall bike weight, and what other aspects go into that ride feel and quality of ride that you're going to get out of your mountain bike and out of your mountain biking experience? So this bike right here, I mean, because it's steel, it is a little bit heavier than my Thai bikes, but I really like the feel. This is a unique steel that's quad butted DOM that's drawn over mandrel. It's a manufacturing term of how they laid out that steel tubing before they rolled it and put it into the and made it. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not. Maybe you guys know more about that. So this bike comes in at 27 pounds. It's not even that light, actually. It's actually, for what it is, it could be my titanium single speed was 22 pounds. So it's 5 pounds more, and I do feel the 5-pound difference. But I like the feel of this bike, and I like the fork. And does the weight matter? So some people think that even a heavier bike feels better because it makes them feel more planted, is the term you'll hear them use. But I feel like a lot of that has to do with your tires more than anything. These are XC tires, so even though the bike is 27 pounds, it's not as light as some other bikes, these tires give it a really fast rolling. So these are wide because they're Terravel 29.5 tires on I-35 Stans Baron rims, which I really like these carbon rims because these carbon rims have a hook in them, so they really hold the tire in solid. Plus I have a Cushcore wide in there, and that even makes it even more solid connection to the rim. So I like that aspect. These are also the durable tread that makes them a little bit on the stiffer side, so it's going to probably take out some of that compression dampening feel of it and stiffen it up a little bit. But I also notice these carbon rims have a very dampened feel compared to other carbon rims. So I think I got lucky with picking out these carbon rims, and they feel really nice. So this is built up with a pretty light build. Obviously the Shimano XTR is a light crankset. This is a SRAM chain. It's typical chain. It's not a super light chain. This big 24 tooth cog. So this is a 24 and 32 for those that are asking. And then I changed the chainring on this 32 to the Black Spire Snaggletooth because it came with the XTR 12-speed cog. So I wanted to use something that's their Shimano cogs are notorious for not really working well with other chains. So I went ahead and put that chainring on there. And but pretty much everything is light. I used a lot of little stuff from my friends over at Better Bolts. Those are great guys. So these are their bolts, their titanium bolts. It was more for looks, but it also lightens it up. Instead of having heavy stainless steel bolts, these are titanium bolts. These are titanium bolts on the rotors, titanium bolts here mounting all this stuff up. So these are Shimano's lightest trail pedals. I prefer SPDs, and these are some of my favorites. Actually, the generation before this was my favorite XTR pedal, but those had some play. If you go back and forth, they had some play. And so it's almost cheaper to buy a complete new set of pedals than it is to buy a bearing replacement kit for those pedals and redo them. This is the Fox transfer post. I put the Better Bolts in here to make that look nice. This is not the lightest saddle, but I bought it obviously because of the I like the feel of the saddle, and saddles are a very personal choice. These are some of your lightest handlebars with the Envy, the M6. This stem is really light. It's not as light as the Envy carbon stem, but I don't feel a carbon stem is really necessary on a mountain bike, and I'm fine with this aluminum stem. It's a really nice aluminum stem, and one of the few products that Envy doesn't make in the US. This is actually made in China, but the handlebars are made in US. XTR brakes with the stance, with the Flow Pro 120 levers. I like them because they have that breakaway type of thing where it goes all the way back. So I like these levers, and plus, you know, you can see the look. So that added a little bit of weight here and there. This is a really light fork, not as light as the taper cast one, but it's still pretty light, and it's 120. But you could get the 120 taper cast and shave a few more grams if you wanted. This isn't the lightest headset, but it's a Cane Creek Hellbender headset, which uses the same bearings as the Cane Creek 110, and I've used the Cane Creek 110, which are a little bit lighter because they make the machined cups here in US, and they make them lighter. The hubs are not the lightest. This is a Hadley hub up front because I had a Hadley hub, and then on the rear, this was a Hadley hub, but it finally died on me after years and years. So this is the Onyx hub. So when I spin it, you won't hear anything because, you know, Onyx hubs are silent, which is really nice. So I'm gonna go take it on a ride today, but I like having a light bike that I could flick around. Of course, the Geo really helps with that, the feel of the bike. I really think with Escar bikes, the way they've drawn out the chain stay and the seat stays, it really adds to the feel. If they were going to lighten up these frames, and I don't know why they didn't do this with the titanium frames, they should have made this hardware made out this portage dropout system. They should have made that out of titanium, or made it out of I think it's made out of aluminum. But if they made that out of titanium and used titanium bolts in here, that would probably drop, you know, maybe you know, a tenth of a pound off the bike with changing that hardware. I actually suggested that to them when they were coming out with their Thai model of the Jaffe. But again, the Thai model of the Jaffe is not quad butted, it's double butted Thai, so I don't know if that would change the feel. You guys let me know in the comments below. So anyway, that's how this bike is set up. I didn't go through every detail, every part. I mean, the bottom bracket, also Cane Creek Hellbender, little parts here and there. So this bike comes in at 27 pounds and climbs really nicely because of the cross-country tread and this tire. And this is a nice tire too, for being a little bit beefier, kind of still in the cross-country but more in the trail category. And it's wider. It's 26 by, where is this size? I think these are so old that here it is right here, 29 by 22.6. So it's a little bit wider, again with the Cushcore wide inside there, but this is the light and supple casing, so it has a little bit more compliant feeling to it. So you guys let me know, what do you think? Does bike weight matter? Do you want it, is too light of a bike a problem? I've heard people say that. I don't know, I don't have any problems with my 22-pound bikes when I make them up that light, and I think they're fine. They climb great, they climb really nice, and they descend great too. I mean, maybe if it's really chunky, I'm getting ping-ponged around just a little bit more, but I think if my bike was 5 or 10 pounds heavier, I would probably get ping-ponged around just as much, just depending on the lines I chose, because having something real heavy, keeping it from getting bounced around is really more of your suspension and just your riding style. If you're able to, you know, use your body as a shock absorber and keep your tires down. So it has a lot to do with that. And then, you know, of course, at high speed, anything can happen. So you have to be reactive and be able to ride at high speed and stuff. So that's my opinion. I think light bikes are better. I approve of anybody who want to be a weight weenie and lighten up their bike. I say go for it. And of course you got to lighten up your body weight too, because if you're 50 pounds overweight, having a light bike isn't going to matter as much as if you're actually in riding shape. So I'll leave it at that. Talk to you guys later.